What truly motivates your team and drives performance? Is it just about the paycheck, or is it something more? Well, rise and shine leaders, this is Glen Guyton, keynote speaker and workplace trainer. It is time for our executive coffee break. I've got my beverage in hand. I hope you have yours too. They say you can't choose your family, but you can choose your workplace culture and, of course, your beverage. Leadership matters, so you might as well get good at it. Well, today we are diving into the heart of motivation. What motivates employees? What drives performance in the workplace? As leaders, I know that's a burning question on our mind. How do we get the best out of the human resources that we've contracted with, that we employ? But with a blend of psychological insights and real world applications, we'll explore how to harness 5 landmark theories to boost motivation in your workplace. I'm going to get nerdy this week. And for those of you that join me on a regular basis, I want to tell you to watch all 5 of these videos. And if you can, like, subscribe, check me out on YouTube, place a comment in the chat on LinkedIn so I know that you are there. But I want to talk about 5 landmark studies on human behavior and how they may apply in the workplace. I'm going to give you 5, but I'm going to talk about 1 each day. And so first up, this is an oldie but goodie. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, Maslow's hierarchy of needs came out in 1943. Abraham Maslow's paper, A Theory of Human Motivation, introduces the hierarchy of needs, which is often depicted as a pyramid. This hierarchy suggests that people are motivated to fulfill basic needs before moving on to more advanced needs. In the workplace, this theory implies that for employees to be motivated by higher order needs like esteem and self-actualization, their fundamental needs, such as safety and belongingness, must be first satisfied. So why am I talking about a 1943 theory? And I'm going to give you some pros and cons of each of these theories as we go through the week. But what I want you to do, if you are a leader, is to think about these theories. Now, again, we have a lot of modern things that we're focusing on, such as belonging, inclusion. Language has changed over the years. But have human beings really changed that much? Have we really changed? We still have 2 feet, 2 arms, 2 legs. Most of us do. I know some people may have some physical limitations, but for the most part, this human body hasn't changed too much. We may be stronger. You know, we have Wembanyama here in San Antonio, Spurs. You know, really tall, really athletic. Yeah, we've got better at some things, but he's just a stretched out human being. I wish I was that tall, but I'm not. So I want us to think about some of these older theories, things that we've learned in the past, and how can we apply these things in the modern day workplace? That's what I want you to do. So again, we're going to talk about 5 landmark theories. They are older, but I think they have some valuable things for us to think about as we get really fancy of how we manage people, how we manage teams. Things just really come full circle. I consider myself to be a cultural futurist, so I am looking forward. But one of the key things of looking forward and seeing trends and data is to understand where we've come from. Number 2, Herzberg's 2-factor theory. Now, Herzberg's 2-factor theory came out in 1959. Herzberg published a study called The Motivation to Work, which distinguishes hygiene factors that can prevent dissatisfaction and motivational factors that can foster satisfaction. His research suggests that improving the work environment and job security, hygiene factors prevents dissatisfaction, but real motivation comes from achievements, recognition, and personal growth. So those are motivators. So hygiene is not about being clean and fresh and putting on deodorant. That's not what we're talking about, but we're talking about other type of environmental factors in the workplace versus these less tangible things, achievements, recognition, and personal growth. So I want to talk about those this week in this theory. Number 3 is McGregor's Theory X and Theory Y. Now, I really like this. This came out in 1960. Douglas McGregor's work, articulated in The Human Side of Enterprise, introduces 2 contrasting models of workforce motivation. So really simplified way of looking at people, 2 ways. Theory X views employees as inherently lazy and needing strict control and coercion. That's crazy, right? And in contrast, Theory Y sees employees as self-motivated and seeking responsibility. McGregor argued that a manager's view of the nature of human beings is based on a certain grouping of assumptions, and that they tend to mold their behavior, leaders, toward subordinates according to these assumptions. Now, this is a really good one. It's really simple, like either this or that. Like I would say, hey, there are only 2 kinds of people in this world: people who put sugar in grits and people who use butter and salt and grits. That's it, right? That's really simplified, but it's kind of how this theory goes when we think about workplace motivation. Either employees are great and they're self-motivated, or they're lazy and they need to be pushed into working into high levels of performance. And so maybe this is how you look at your team. I don't know. Hopefully you don't. But I think it's a good theory for us to think about and talk about this week. So McGregor's Theory, XY theory, check that out. Number 4, Self-Determination Theory by Deci and Ryan. Now, this is more recent, 1984, still a long time ago. This theory emphasizes the role of intrinsic and extrinsic sources of motivation in driving human behavior. And this is what we're talking about when we talk about workplace motivation. What drives the behavior, the desired outcome that we have with our teams? Don't you want your team to function better? I know I want my teams functioning well. You want your team functioning at the top. And it may not be money, it may not be cash. Part of the work that we're going to do this week is talk about cultural competency as we look at these theories. Many of these theories are based on, of course, a North American model of work. And the things that motivate your traditional born American citizen may be different from this more dynamic and diverse workforce. So I want to talk about those things as I get into each theory. Now, Edward Deci and Richard Ryan propose that conditions supporting an individual's experience of autonomy, competence, and relatedness foster the most volatile and high-quality forms of motivation and engagement for activities, including enhanced performance, persistence, and creativity. I love that one. I mean, I like all of these. I just want to get in really in depth in these. I will write a blog post about this and post that at the end of the week. Put a link in the last video that goes with this series as we talk about these things. And number 5, the Jobs Characteristic Model by Hackman and Oldham. This is 1976. Suggests that tasks are key to employee motivation. So tasks, this is a task-driven type of motivation. It outlines how jobs can be designed with 5 core job characteristics: skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback, to enhance 3 critical psychological states leading to greater job satisfaction, motivation, and productivity. I really want to get into depth on that one about how we design tasks. I think it does matter. I think it does matter how we design tasks, how we give people work. And again, each individual is going to be motivated in different ways, especially as we have more diverse teams. We may have to apply lessons from all of these theories, but I think this is good for you. So my challenge for you this week is to check out those theories, right? Check them out. Watch these videos. I'm going to get into each theory just a little bit because I only have a short amount of time that I come to you every day. I will write a blog about this, but get into some of these theories. Which one resonates with you? Which one of these 5 theories that I talked about resonates with you. Is it too outdated? Some of you that are watching this weren't even born. Well, I wasn't born when a lot of these theories came out, and I was a baby when some other ones came out. But some of you weren't even born in 1976 when some of these studies came out. Definitely, many of you weren't born in the 40s that are watching this. Some of you may be still watching this and were born in the 40s. So check out these theories, see which one resonates with you. Maybe talk about them with your team, with your management team. See what they think. But I'm going to give you some snippets each day this week to talk about these various theories and see what they can do for us. I believe these theories provide a comprehensive framework for understanding what motivates individuals in the workplace. They underline the importance of considering both the intrinsic and extrinsic motivators and the role of job design in fostering a motivating work environment. By applying insights from these studies, leaders and HR professionals can develop more effective strategies for enhancing employee motivation and performance. We want to get the most out of our team. We want folks working and we want them to be fulfilled at work. But how do we motivate them to do that? All right. So join me the rest of this week. Check out this series. But let's not forget the strength and perseverance that it takes to lead with empathy and inclusivity. Better leaders get better results. So to every one of you leading the charge for a more supportive and engaging workplace, I leave you with this. Stay bold, stay inspired, and remember that your actions today shape the culture of tomorrow. My name is Glen Guyton. You have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Hey, incredible viewers, are you ready to transform your workplace into a haven of respect and productivity? Well, I would encourage you to check out my book, Navigating Microaggressions at Work. This is an essential read for your employee resource groups to help you identify, address, and prevent microaggressions in the workplace, because I want you to foster an environment of inclusion and respect where everyone thrives. Make a choice that leads to a less stressed, high-performing team. The book is available on Amazon.